We begin with some news just in out of South Africa. Fraud charges against Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan have been dropped, and that's come out of a briefing by the country's National Prosecuting Authority in Pretoria. Ahead of the briefing, speculation was rife that the charges would be dropped. Others believed extra charges would be levied against the minister. They relate to a unit under Gordhan's command when he ran the South African Revenue Authority. Many South Africans have been supporting the finance minister, calling the charges trumped up. The National Director of Public Prosecutions, Shaun, now says he's looked into the matter and decided to overrule the decision to prosecute the minister. Well, let's get CCTV's Yolisa Njemel. She's standing by for us on the line with more from Pretoria on that story. Yolisa, this must come as a relief to the minister, though. But what more can you tell us about the briefing and the dropping of the charges against Pravin Gordhan?
Well, absolutely. It comes as a great relief to the Finance Ministry as a whole, because we spoke to the officials earlier, because we understand that, in fact, a letter was sent to Pravin Gordhan's attorneys earlier today from the NPA head, Shaun, saying that after the perusal of the matter, NPA head Shaun had decided to overrule the decision to prosecute the minister. Abrams in that letter said he was directed that the summons against Gordhan be withdrawn with immediate effect. You'll remember that a lot of criticism came out right after the NPA head announced about 20 days that, in fact, Gordhan and two other officials will be summoned to court, will be charged, especially the effect that that decision had, because the rand dropped immediately, the value of the rand dropped immediately. So today, immediately after the NPA addressed the media, the NPA director was asked directly, why shouldn't he resign? Because it's quite clear that it would seem that due diligence was not done, that proper investigation was not followed until this point. He started off announcing the matter before the investigation was done thoroughly. I can tell you that the media briefing is still underway, and we'll get more answers as the day progresses.
Well, Yolisa, just how significant, though, is this move by the NPA following all those weeks of uncertainty?
Well, absolutely critical for the country. You remember that last year, 2015, in December, the Minister of Finance, the then Minister of Finance, Nhlanhla Nene, was removed and replaced by the now Cooperative Governance Minister, Van Rooyen. And immediately the rand dropped substantially. And for about 5 months, the rand was moving up and down, very unsettled. Minister Gordhan immediately replaced Van Rooyen about 4 days later, and we saw some stability. Minister Gordhan even went overseas to allay the fears that there was uncomfortability or rather instability in the country. And after that, for him to come back a mere few days before he addressed Parliament in terms of the midterm budget, the charges were put to him. And that created a lot of instability and frustration from a lot of quarters. NPA head Shaun was criticized quite a lot, especially from the legal fraternity. So it would seem like the decision was not a good one at all. And now the result, we're looking at the rand, whether it will be on the positive or on the negative after this announcement.
All right, you listen, Jamela, for us there on the line from Pretoria.